Hello and welcome to another Wally Spark review. We are looking at a bunch of products here today, but basically the review is going to be about this unit right here. But I have some other devices up here because I just want to go over a couple things in this video, and excuse the wobbliness here. I'm trying out my new cell phone neck holder thing here so I can be hands-free. And I'm having my morning cigar, so to all you non-smokers, I apologize. Anyway, so I needed a portable air compressor. I started out with this one right here, which I have done a full review on. You can see that in one of my other reviews, and maybe I'll leave a link in the description of where you can find the review for this one. This unit worked nicely. I liked the display on it. It was nice and big, and you could see the tire pressure that you had set it for, and then you could also see the tire pressure of the actual tire as it was being filled. I liked that. You had the two readings on there. What I didn't like about it was its tip over capability. It just it was easy to tip over and fall, and I didn't like that the battery that goes on the bottom here was always on the ground, especially in wet conditions. Still a nice unit. Check out the review for it and you'll see what I'm talking about. But I decided to go with something different. So I bought this one here. I haven't done a review on this one, and I don't think that I will. It's very similar to this unit, except as you can see, it sits a little bit differently. It's got some nice rubberized feet on the bottom, and it sits on the ground nicely, and it's a lot more sturdier. The battery pack attaches to the back instead of to the bottom. And as a matter of fact, if you really wanted to, you could set that one up just like the one that looks like a cordless drill too. But I didn't like to do that with my battery, so I like the feet on the bottom, rubber feet, so it wouldn't vibrate away and it didn't tip over as easy. So I bought this one, and I'll leave a link of where you can buy that one as well. It worked fine. It doesn't have the bigger display on it, and it will only show you once you preset what you want your pressure to be at. It will just then show you the actual pressure of the tire you're filling or whatever you're filling, and it won't show you what your preset was still at. So it's kind of missing about half the display there, but still worked just beautifully. Then I have over here this unit, which I bought from a big box store. I needed to jump start my car the other day, and I bought this. It was not a good experience. I basically charged this for about 6 hours it took fully, and then hooked it up to my car, turned the key over, well in this case, the start button, and the solenoid clicked about 1.2 seconds, and that was it. Went back out, pressed the button on this to see where the charge was still on this, and it was completely dead. Did that twice, and both times just trying to start the car for a second or two completely drained it. So I don't know if this unit is defective or it's just a bad piece of equipment altogether, but unfortunately I would not recommend this here. Steer away from it. That baby cost about 80 bucks, and I am returning it. Now again, I don't want to badmouth the product too much. I could have a defective device. I don't know. But the reviews were not that great on it as well, but I still took a chance. But it is going to be returned. Now, why do I have all these products here and showing you all the rest of these when I'm really trying to review this new one here? And we'll get into this in detail eventually. But the reason I wanted to show you this was I thought to myself, well, for what I'm paying for this one or this one, which were very similar in price, for about $30 more, I bought this one, and it came with the air compressor that I needed, but it was also a jump starter. But because that ended up being a failure, I decided to go with something that had a lot better reviews on it, and that's this unit here, and I believe it's called a Flylink Tech. Flylink Tech. They all have these funny names, as I've mentioned in other videos. This is nice and heavy duty, though. It's got a lithium-ion battery in it instead of the old lead battery that this one has in it. And a lot of people will tell you this is the way to go, a lead battery, because that's what you'll mainly find with tow truck drivers and stuff like that. But most of these people are still in the old way of thinking. With the technology of the lithium-ion batteries today, from what I'm understanding, these things can be even more powerful than the old lead battery. They're faster to charge and produce more power than your old lead battery style jumpers. So this was about the same cost as this. But if this one ends up working as well, or at least like that one should, or better, one of the obvious conveniences to this is, well, its size. It's small and portable. I can almost put this right in my glove box if I needed to. Whereas this one, it's not out of the box. I can't, I'm not going to take it back out of the box because I'm returning it, but it's about the size of that box, so you can see the difference here. There you go. A lot smaller on this one. And this one also comes with the capability of using it as an air compressor as well, and we're going to get into the detail about that. But I just thought I'd show you how I got to this point in the first place. We started with this one, works fine. Went to that one, works fine. Just a little lacking a couple features that this one has on it. And then I went to this one, which worked terrible. And now we're going to try this one here. So this is what the review is going to be about today. And that's where we're going right now. I'm going to clear this workbench off, and we're going to start focusing on the main unit here. Okay, so just to recap, in case you didn't understand where I was going with this, I needed a portable air compressor. I bought the first one, worked fine, but I just didn't like that it tipped over. Bought the second one, worked fine. Missing a couple features, but not a big deal. Then I needed a jump starter, and I bought one of those with an air compressor on it. Thought I was killing two birds with one stone, but that one ended up being junk, and now we were on to this one. So hopefully if this one works out, I'm going to get both things that I need, an air compressor and a car auto battery jumper, all in one. And this unit is smaller than any of the three that I had bought before, the individual air compressor or the jump pack with the air compressor on it. This is way smaller than any of them put together. So this is the Flylink Tech. Like I said, it's nice and heavy duty, a lot of weight to it. Probably weighs a good 3 pounds, 4 pounds. Comes with a nice case. In the case we have, that's a storage case, by the way. I'm going to put this aside here. Comes with a set of instructions, obviously, which I left out of the picture right there. It also has this little adapter here. I thought this was a cigarette lighter adapter, which I think it is, but it's got the female port on this side, so I have to look into seeing exactly what this is used for. Just give me a little time. It also comes with an air compressor hose, because this is a 2-in-1 unit. It also comes with the jumper cables with the part that plugs into the unit. And I believe that this will, when you're using it, will light up and show you the car voltage on the battery. Don't quote me on that yet. We'll get to that. Not the heaviest gauged wires, but even on my plug-in electric charger that I've been using for years, has about the same gauge wires on it. and it's always been able to charge my batteries just fine. So I'm not going to hold that against this right now. And for being portable, you don't want some thick, 2-gauge wires on here or something. Like I said, it comes with the air compressor hose. That actually screws into the side of the unit here. I'll show you that in a minute. It also comes with a USB-C cord to charge the unit. It does not come with the actual charger itself, but it's recommended that you use, I believe, a 5-volt 2.4 amp or something like that with this cord to charge the unit. And by the way, that last unit that I bought that was defective or something took about 6 hours to fully charge, so didn't really like that either, but I don't know, this one could take just as long. We'll get to that too eventually. Alright, so there you have it. I haven't used this unit yet, so I don't know a lot about it, but we're going to take a look at a couple things here real quick. So there's your charging port. That's how you charge the unit. It's got a couple USB ports on here to charge other devices off of this if you'd like. This little port there is for this adapter, which plugs into it. I gotta find out exactly what this is. I'll have to read the directions here. Sorry about that. So you have all that on that side. You have, oops, I accidentally turned it on. Well, since I turned it on, there you go. You can see I've already charged this fully. And one mistake I'll keep you from making is I charged this with a fast charger. And it worked fine all the way to 99%, but then it stuck at 99%. And I've had this experience before with other devices. When you're using a fast charger, they just weren't 100% designed for a fast charger, so they'll stop at 99% because it doesn't really know what's going on. So I had to take the fast charger off and put a regular charger on, and as soon as I put it on, it was at 100%. So you're not going to damage the unit, I don't believe, by using a fast charger. And I don't know if it's really charging it any fast since this wasn't designed for a fast charger, but that's what I did. Got to 99%, sat around for about an hour until I realized what my mistake was and corrected it. Now on the top of this here, we have a little rubber cover that comes off, and that is where if you're going to be jumping a car, that's where you're going to put the jumper cable mechanism into. And it can only go in one way because one prong is round and the other one is half round, half moon with a flat side. So you can't put this in wrong. If you try to put it in that way, it's not going to go in at all. It's going to go in just like this. And actually that lit up. It says, oh, the whole unit kind of came on there for a second. Again, I'm just getting familiar with this. Oops. But it came on. It says 16.7 volts. I don't know where that's getting it from, because basically I don't have anything hooked up to it yet. So we'll learn more about that as we go. I'm going to unplug it for now. Pops right out of there. We have some various buttons, one being the power, obviously. It does come with a flashlight like the other 2 units, or 3 units I should say, that I showed you earlier did. Let's turn that on once. Yeah, we got to hold it down. Yeah, there we go. Came on. Flashes. Flashes slower. And off. Alright, so you got a flashlight on that too. Which the other 3 units also did. They all had a flashlight as well. We have a power button, flashlight button, the pump button. Let's see if this just starts. I'll turn it on. Okay, it looks like I can preset it to using the plus or minus down here. Yep, I can preset it to what I need to. Let's try pump. Okay, it's not pumping. Maybe I need to have the pump, maybe I need to have this cable, God, I can't think of the word here, sorry, have this hose plugged into it before it will work. Or let's just try holding it down once. I haven't read the directions. Okay, nothing happening, so let's bypass that for now. If I go to pump, I can also set it to bars, PSI, kPa. In my case, I'm always going to use PSI. And this, like the first two pumps that I bought, I don't believe you can do it on the one that I bought from the big box store that was kind of defective. I can actually set this, preset this to the pressure, tire pressure that I want, and then hit pump, and it should pump it up to that preset pressure and stop. So that's nice. All right, now I don't know why the pump is not kicking in on this. Let's just try attaching the hose, which goes right down there. And this is covered by another rubber cover. We're going to screw it in. Kind of just all right, it's in there. And I did read some reviews that you need to make sure this is screwed in tight, and this is on your tire fill stem tight as well, or it will leak. Let's just try turning it on now once, and hitting pump, and we got nothing. So I'm not sure why this isn't starting. Let's try holding it down again. Nope, nothing. So I'm going to have to read the directions and see exactly how this works. But those are the main features so far. I'm going to go ahead and just skim through the directions and come back and find out how this air pump actually works. I'll be right back with you. Alright, I learned a couple things. This piece here, I'm not sure what it's for. It's not even listed in the instructions or as a part or anything. It looks like it should plug into your car light, cigarette lighter on your car, but it's the female end, so something needs to plug into that. I don't know what this is for. I don't know if they sent the wrong adapter or whatnot. In the instructions they show like a USB adapter plugging into a cigarette lighter adapter plugging into your cigarette lighter with a USB port sticking out the back, and then you would take your cable here and plug that into that adapter and then plug the other end into your unit to charge it. So I don't know what this is for. It's probably a mistake. They sent me the wrong thing in this package. I'll have to find out from the company. I did find out how to start the compressor. Duh. So basically, you're going to turn the power on, and every time you go to pump, it automatically defaults to kPa, which I don't necessarily like that, but not a big deal to just hit the mode button and change it to bars. And then it's preset at, we'll preset it at, let's say, whatever you're going to set it at, 3.7 pounds of pressure. Instead of hitting the pump button, you hit the start button. There you go. And it should shut off when the tire is filled to that preset pressure, or you can turn it off manually with the power button. So that's how you get the pump to work. So the next thing we're going to do here, and I should mention too, it does come with a couple nozzles for the pump, a couple ball nozzles and a pin or needle nozzle in there. But what we're going to do next is, I'm going to turn this off if I can. Oops. Let's get that out of there. By the way, if you just let this thing sit for about 15 seconds, it does shut off by itself. Should shut off while I'm talking here, as a matter of fact. But the next step is we're going to hook up the jumper cables and go try to start my old 2001 Dodge truck that I leave sitting in the back of the garage during the winter. And the battery usually goes dead, and it's about 12 degrees out here in Minnesota today, so I'm going to, there, it shut off now. I'm going to assume that the battery is too dead to start it. Either way, since this is so convenient, it's to save the life of the battery, it's probably best just to throw this on to give it a little boost anyways, instead of draining the battery even more and putting more wear and tear on it. This is going to be a lot handier than running an extension cord out my back garage door and hooking up my old wired powered charger. This is all cordless, and it should be a lot simpler. So that's the next thing that we're going to do. We're going to see if this starts my old Dodge truck. Before I go ahead and hook this up to my actual truck battery that's dead, one thing was bothering me. I just wanted to see how this worked. But let me cover something here real quickly that I see people making mistakes in so many videos that I've watched about hooking up battery cables. In a perfect world, you're always going to want to hook up the positive cable on the dead battery side anyways, on the dead vehicle. You're always going to want to hook up the positive cable to the positive terminal of the battery first. And then, if you can, you're going to want to hook up the negative cable to a good ground on the vehicle away from the battery. The reason being for that is that when you're hooking up this negative clamp to the negative terminal, there's always a possibility of some sparks. And sparks could cause any gases around the battery to ignite the battery and explode the battery. Now, instead of getting all, I don't want to get you all worried here. I've been working on cars for over 40 years and I've never blown up a battery yet. And in a lot of cases, you don't have a choice but to connect this negative clamp to the negative terminal on the battery. And in this case, I don't have a lot of length here on these cables, so I don't think I'm going to be able to hook the positive cable to the positive terminal of my battery and have enough length to find a good ground on the truck anywhere to hook this up to a ground. It's probably going to have to be hooked up to the negative terminal. Now, with that said, and it is a little different, by the way, there's a little more procedure to it if you're jumping a car from another car or another battery. But for using a battery pack jumper or a battery charger, yes, you hook up the positive cable to the positive terminal first, and then the negative cable, preferably to a ground on the vehicle. As a last resort, you hook it to the negative terminal on the battery. But what bothered me about this a little bit is, and I had to check it out for myself, as you see here, I hooked up my voltmeter to the cables here. And I should back up a little bit. On most jumpers I've ever used, or even battery chargers, there's no power going to the cables until you turn the unit on. But what bothered me about this unit is that once I use this adapter here to plug into the unit, this adapter started showing voltage already, and I wasn't sure if that meant that voltage from the jumper box was actually getting to the cables at that point or not. So I decided to hook up my voltmeter here, and we're going to go ahead and, with the unit off, we're going to go ahead and plug this in. And I should have had this on, sorry. But either way, as you see, we're already reading 14 volts, so this is already putting out power on these cables. And it doesn't matter, as you can see, the unit isn't turned on, but there is a reading in the display on the adapter that goes into the unit. And there is definitely power going to these two cables. Even if I turn the unit on, nothing changes. It's still got the same power, and in about 20 seconds that unit will shut off automatically, but we still have power on these cables once I plug this adapter into the power pack itself. Now that bothers me a little bit because not sure what that meant, but it bothers me a little bit because if I have this all plugged in, the adapter plugged into the unit, and go to hook up my cables, these are live. And then I definitely want to try to look for a ground to attach this black negative cable to here on the charger. Ground it out somewhere on the body or the engine, as opposed to putting it on the negative terminal, because that could cause sparks. So what I think I'm going to do instead is I'm going to unplug this And I'm going to go out to the truck and connect my positive and negative cables to the positive and negative terminals on the battery first. Then I'm going to plug this into the unit, and it will get power at that point. So that way, at least if there is any sparks happening, it should be right in here, which I hope there isn't. But I'd rather have them happen here than at the battery. So we're going to try it that way. And in the instruction booklet, I should say, there's nothing said about it other than they're telling you to connect the adapter into the unit, go out to the battery, and connect your positive and negative cables to the battery, which isn't the safest thing to do since these cables have power on it. So I don't really necessarily like those instructions or how this works like that. So we're going to try it my way. And in any case, I'm going to be wearing safety glasses, which I can't stress enough is important, and you should be wearing those regardless. I'd rather have a battery explode in my face and get some burns to deal with as opposed to going blind for the rest of my life. So safety goggles for sure, no matter what you're doing with this. But yeah, I thought I'd just point that out. It's a little strange. Most often, more than not, you have to hit the power on the unit in order to send power to these cables. But in this case, it doesn't work that way with this unit. Not that it's a downside, but it's just something to be aware of. All right, I think we're going to head out to the truck and try to start it. If I didn't mention before, I'm not going to try to drain the truck battery any more than it already is, just to show you that it is actually dead. I'm hoping that when I stick this adapter on it, it's going to read the voltage from the battery on the truck and not the voltage coming out of this unit. And then you can see how low the battery is. But I don't want to try starting it with just for demonstration purposes to show you that the battery actually is dead. You're just going to have to trust me. The battery has probably got a couple, 2, 3, 4 volts in it right now, especially with this cold weather. I've been nursing this battery for years, and I go out and try to start it about once a week, and half the time I have to put my charger on it first. That's why, as I mentioned earlier, I'm hoping this is going to save me a little legwork and time, and just, so I don't have to run an extension cord out there and all that good stuff. I can just throw this right on the battery itself and start the truck up and be done with it. All right, we're going to head on out. All right, well, there's the old beast. Let's go hook this up. See if I can get you a good angle here. Going to do positive first. Cables, the clamps open up nice and wide. That's good. As you can see, I don't have a lot of places to go with these short cables. I possibly could find a ground somewhere, but it's freezing out here, and I'm just going to hook this up like I said I would. All right, then we're going to go ahead and get this into the battery or the jump pack. And I'm going to take it back out for 1 second. Was that reading my battery already? Yeah, it actually is. It says it's about 12.6 volts. But don't let that deceive you, because trust me, I know this truck would not start by itself right now. We're going to connect those cables in. No spark, that's good. Set everything that's not going to get caught in a fan belt or pulley or anything. Now let's go ahead and I hear something clicking. Not sure what that is, but interesting. Let's try to start the beast up. Oh yeah, there she goes. And that, I could tell that battery was, or that booster was really turning that engine over. And by the way, when disconnecting cables, you go in reverse order. Negative off first, then the positive, Don't let them touch. Let's pull this apart, or pull this adapter out so there's no voltage on the cables. Alright, we're good. We're going to let this sucker run for about a half an hour. See you back in the garage. Alright, well there you have it. The Flylink Tech BD20. Flylink Tech BD20. I'm impressed with this unit. It did the job. I know the truck started up pretty quickly, but it took a little bit of time, and that engine was turning over like it had a brand new battery in it. Trust me, it wouldn't have been doing that without the assistance of this battery pack jumper here. So it did what it's supposed to do. And also too, even if it would have started, the truck would have started without the help of this battery pack, I know that it would have just took a little more toll on that battery. And like I said, I've been nursing that battery for a while, so I don't know why it was reading 12 volts, but trust me, I know that it was a very, very weak 12 volts. So this is going to eliminate a lot of headaches for me as far as putting my charger on that truck every week and charging it for half an hour just to get the thing going, to warm it up a little bit while it sits through the winter. I love it. And again, you can take this on the road with you. You can throw it in your trunk. You can throw it in your glove box almost. So it's a nice handy little thing just to keep in your car in case of emergency, for either jumping your car or filling up a flat tire. Now again, the only thing I don't like about it is as soon as you plug the adapter here into the unit, you have live voltage on these cables. It's not a big deal as long as you're aware of what you're doing and how this thing works. You can get around that, and I don't think we would have had any problems just plugging this in and hooking the two cables up anyways. Like I said, I've been working on cars for 40 years and I've never exploded a battery yet, and I've hooked them up in so many different ways, and I've crossed the cables by accident before and all kinds of things and never had a problem. But doesn't mean that I'm recommending you do anything other than to do it the safe way. I also like too that the company puts their email right on, their support email right on the case. That usually indicates that they don't mind being contacted for help or assistance or questions that you may have. And I will be actually using that email to figure out what this piece here is actually for, and if they sent me the wrong piece. Not quite sure yet. Maybe I'm just missing something, but hey, feel free if you have one of these to go ahead and write a comment in about what this is exactly for, because I can't figure it out yet. Now, I just wanted to turn this on and show you that that one jump right there depleted this down to 72%. It was fully charged at 100% when I started. The manual recommends that the unit be charged to at least 80% when doing a jump. But I'm guessing I probably could get a few more jumps out of this before it would stop working. But again, the manual does recommend having it at least at 80% when trying to do a jump. Now, with that said, is it going to do a few more jumps? Probably. But even if I got it down to 40 or 30% or something, I'm guessing the air compressor is still going to have plenty of life on it in case you just needed to use that portion of it. That's it. I think that's all I can say about this. I will leave a link in the description of where you can buy one of these. I'm going to leave a few more links in the description too about the other products that I purchased that were that I was demonstrating a little bit in the beginning of this video, and I will also leave a link to my other video for that cordless drill looking style air compressor, portable air compressor, battery operated air compressor that I was mentioning. That was the first thing that I bought before I got to this stage. And again, why did I get to this stage? Well, because I needed a portable air compressor, and then I needed a portable jumper for my car battery, and then I ended up buying that junk one, as I showed you, that had both of those things together, which I thought was going to be nice, but that ended up being a disaster. So I ended up researching and picking this one out, and so far I'm happy with it, and it's going to give me the capability to jump my car and fill up a flat tire if I need to. So again, I'll leave links in the description to all this stuff, and I hope you have enjoyed the video. I hope I've given you some good information about how all this works and how to hook up a battery properly, and a little insight on some other products that I've purchased in the past. Thank you very much. Please subscribe. We appreciate it.